Welcome to East of Eden Readings. I am your consciousness coordinator, Reverend Rock, aka Raheem. And tonight, we're going to discuss the consciousness. Anuk AUSAR in the indigenous dialect of ancient Kemet, aka Egypt. All humans are existing at various degrees of being. Each of the almost 8 billion different human consciousnesses is oscillating at different rates of frequencies and fluctuates those rates faster and slower depending on how they perceive what is occurring in their experience. To use terms such as higher or awake denotes a better than mentality. No being is vibrating at a higher level, and all are equal to the one. Even the other being, zero, is infinitely more than nothing. All beings are awake and do not need to be awakened. Each will increase their oscillation rate of frequency, and nothing is better than anything else. All things exist for a reason and serve as a specific function. As our rate of frequency increases, so does our level of power. This power comes in the form of clarity. Our faster rates of consciousness perceive more of what is actually occurring for our benefit, as opposed to what we think is really happening to us. The more clearer our inner vision, the faster the dissonance resolves. Instead of being confused, we become more peaceful. Any painful experience that occurs, we become clear of vision again. Any painful experience that occurs to us can disrupt our sense of well-being. If we are patient, the dust will settle and we become clear of vision again. When we choose to remain confused or angry and try to see the light before our field of vision is clear, we are trying to make sense of something without allowing ourselves to receive all of the information. We are only seeing a portion of the story and not viewing the whole picture. With faster rates of consciousness comes the expansion of awareness. If our consciousness is who we are, our awareness is what we are. What we are is why we are here, for everything we perceive is based on how we feel about it. If we feel peaceful, we are naturally inclined to appreciate that occurrence. If we feel joyful, we enjoy the experience. If we are afraid of something, we have a tendency to resist that occurrence from happening, but get angry when the anxious feelings persist. If we pay attention to those disturbing thoughts that pop up into our minds and irritating types of emotions and learn something new about ourselves, we become more aware. Like I said, those are the ANTs. Remember the acronym ANTs I talked about in my previous video? Automatic Negative Thought Syndrome, ANTS, ANTs, that we all go through. We don't have to like this part of the process, but we can at least respect it. As we learn that these types of experience are very informative, we begin to appreciate these traits. With these tougher and more painful experiences, we become more aware if we accept the information as truthful. We naturally rejoice when we connect with those who resonate with us consciously. This resonance is felt through vibrations that are sound. There is a dual meaning in being sound. To be sound is to be peaceful. To be the sound is to consciously become the sound frequencies. To become more aware is to allow ourselves to feel the sound. When we resonate with another being, we become reconnected with each other. We become one with one another. Our frequencies harmonize with others when they are oscillating at a similar rate. No two things oscillate at the exact same frequency. For every quantum of energy that has occurred after the first piece of existence, material began to exist after that first piece it felt. Other subsequent particles that come into existence cannot occupy the same exact point in space, even if they come into existence at the same exact moment. Time, due to the convergence of the space-time continuum. There is a perception of partial separation in the frequency. This perception is the illusion of contrast in motion. The illusion of reality is meant to gain our attention so that we become more aware of our consciousness being able to absorb information from more of our senses. We are conditioned to believe only what we see and hear. When we keep an open mind and learn how to access more of the available information that is offered within each occurrence, we become more consciously aware as our consciousness oscillates faster at a faster rate. Just like we expand our technology to be able to measure the full spectrum of electromagnetic energy, we can tap into our three spiritual senses: space, motion, time, while harnessing the five basic senses. When we use more than our sense of sight and sound, we feel more of a complete vision of the information. I have learned in my experience that we only have one sense. Let me give you a for instance. And that sense is touch, feeling. Why I say that is when you put something into your mouth, your tongue differentiates textures from feeling it out. Salt, sugar, sour. That's feeling. Rough, coarse, smooth, soggy, wet. Then you have sight. When the light hits the retina and reflects that. That's a sense of touch, feeling. Smelling is when the aromatic particles are hidden against that palate. I don't remember what it's called, but I know it's some sort of palate that's inside of your nasal cavity. And hearing is when vibrations reverberate off of your eardrums. So all of that is one sense, and that is touch, feeling, vibration, because everything is vibrating on a frequency. Everything is made up of atoms, protons, neutrons, electrons, moving constantly fast in motion, that can't be seen by the naked eye, but exist nonetheless, producing these vibrations and these frequencies that are minds, eyes, nose, mouth, ears, skin, the largest system of the body, the skin. And all this information is being taken in simultaneously. All humans have opportunities to develop these abilities. The only aspect of our being that is required to improve these skills is active imagination. A beautiful way to assess the level of your awareness is how peaceful you feel. Remember, you need not assess the feelings, beliefs, or actions of others because you are responsible for only your consciousness. You will catch yourself being judgmental when you become irritated, frustrated, angry, or fearful by the actions or words of others. Sometimes we confused by an occurrence in our reality. All of these other than peaceful feelings that occurs to us happen for a reason. Being aware of our feelings has nothing to do with intelligence. I know human beings that have trisomy 21 who are profoundly peaceful, while others who have the genius IQs are quite miserable. I contend that the being who is peaceful, happy, or joyful is oscillating at a faster rate of consciousness. They may not necessarily be able to describe in words just how much they are enjoying life, but express their gratitude by simply laughing and smiling. A being who is peaceful will share that energy freely. Some will give back to the universe by expressing themselves artistically, while others are just happy as they go about their daily lives. Others are very happy to share what they are learning. 2 Corinthians 3:16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If anything or anyone defile thy temple, you're defiling God, which temple ye are. You have the power. We have the power to change our situations as we see fit. Creative visualization. Imagine what it is. Visualize it in your minds. Exactly what it is that you want and not what you don't want. Anuk AUSAR. Asar comes from the Egyptian story of Isis, Osiris, and Heru. Osiris is the Greek name of Ausar. That's his original name, the green one. The one that got chopped up in 13 pieces by his brother Set and was resurrected by his sister/wife, or Set, Isis, and was resurrected by bearing a son. Heru, Ra, is the serpentine dynamic that flows through the life force of this existence, which how we are all connected. We are the serpent. We are the dragon. They tricked us into fearing that symbol, into literally fearing snakes and serpents and creepy things like that. They did it intentionally to push their agenda. Has our entire nation sensitive, whiny about any little thing that anybody does, while we're losing focus on real things that need to be addressed, like poverty and homelessness and health care. And why do I see pregnant women working when I go into places like Walmart, Target, and the like? Why aren't there systems in place to where they are paid and they're comfortable while they're going through their 3 trimesters, at least a year? We can afford it. We give $40 billion to the Ukraine. But everywhere else, I can't express this enough. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, $180 billion, 80 billion people on this planet. He can give everybody, 80 billion and still have $100 billion left. That's ridiculous. But here it is. The media got y'all all focused on Trump. Trump this, Trump is bad, Trump is this. Trump is a regular person, just like you and me. But the difference is, he had the guts and the balls to become a president. But you're a truck driver, or an RN, or a hairdresser. Not to say that those aren't legitimate occupations, but compared to the title and position of president, come on, you ain't doing it. That's what's wrong with people today, with our nation. We're always talking about people when y'all ain't doing nothing. Judge not, lest ye may be judged. For the judgment ye judged, ye shall also be judged. Matthew chapter 7 verse 1. Take the mote out of your eye before you talk about the mote in somebody else's eye. But I get it. Y'all don't know no better. You don't know no better. This is how y'all can been conditioned since y'all came from the womb. To be selfish and competitive and whiny and spoiled. And to be divided. That's why they have sports in school. To teach competitiveness. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Eat, eat, eat. Me, me, me. They have you focused on Trump to distract you. You were so caught up in the color of his skin, it didn't occur to you that you are racist also. But here it is. There were no wars while he was in office. For the first time in history, we had peace with the Union of Socialist Republics, aka Russia, Georgia, whatever you want to call them, whatever they're called today. We had no friction. For once, no wars. Troops were coming home, not being deployed. And y'all have a problem with this? That's why I know they are manipulating y'all. Coercing y'all into believing a certain view. But I am here to show you the alternative. I am the devil's advocate. Judge not, lest ye may be judged. For the judgment ye judged, ye shall also be judged. You ain't perfect. The gall of you to talk about any one of those president's transgressions. They're humans. What the fuck do you expect from a human? You ain't doing it. Watching your football game, talking about your team. How much that team paying you? But you know all the conditions of the players on the team. Whether or not somebody lost their Achilles tendon. Whether or not somebody caught a heart murmur. All the stats. And you're not getting paid a dime. You foolish mortal. In my Jarrell Lights voice. Peace out. Shout out to my man Jarrell Lights. Buford. My man. Love you. In any event. Yeah. Y'all are being bamboozled. Y'all not really awake. The FBI raiding Trump's estate, a United States president. That's embarrassing. Like, they never did anything. Like, they're infallible. Like, nobody in the bureau's done something wrong, ever. But one does in the dark will manifest in light. I'm not saying I agree with all his politics, but at the end of the day, the title should protect him from anything. You put him in there, you voted in here, you put him in there with whether your lack of voting or not voting. Period. But be it as it may, he made it there. Respect the title. Back off. Like I said again, I don't necessarily I believe in his politics, but one thing I noticed, it wasn't no wars. He gave y'all like about 2 stimulus checks, and was trying to give y'all another one, but they stopped it. They stopped it. Congress and legislation, they stopped him from giving y'all another stimulus check. Barack didn't do that. George Bush, Clinton, Carter, none of them did that. Trump did. And here it is, y'all have a problem with him. And the only reason why y'all have a problem with him is because the media is brainwashing y'all, and y'all falling it for it, hook, line, and sinker, like a bunch of goddamn goats and cattle. Y'all eat the cows and y'all act like the cows. But they say you are what you eat. You know what I mean? And that's what y'all are, a bunch of cattle. Y'all just be following whatever, what comes out in the media, whatever them stars tell you, y'all go and do it. Y'all don't have your own mind. Not one process of individuation flowing through not one of y'all. And the sad part about it is, in each and every one of y'all is the God particle. Anuk AUSAR. I am conscious. Anuk AUSAR. I am conscious. We are conscious. We're living in this realm. You're awake. The eye is open. When eyes are closed, that is unconsciousness. That is how you know when somebody is conscious. That's why the symbol, the emblem of the eye is awareness and consciousness. The light of the body is the eye. If the eye be full of light, the body be full of light, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, the whole body shall be full of light. Matthew 6:22. I'm going to read that again. The light of the body is the eye, third eye. If therefore thine eye be single, the whole body shall be full of light. Light is a metaphor for consciousness. I am the Reverend Rock, aka Raheem, your consciousness coordinator, coming to you through East of Eden Readings presentation. And as always, I love y'all. I'm out. One.